Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And all right. I was
I was
like,
like,
am
why is
I
it still sitting there? Normally
backstage
it just pops
or
up by itself, but I was like, oh, maybe I should turn
uh,
it on.
all right? I thought I was backstage. I'm like, hey, nobody can see or hear us. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. All right, my name is Denise, and I'm with Carved Out Divas of Miss D Reads, and immediately to my left or right on your screen is Miss.
April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar and April Cobb's Education Consultant. We are back. It seemed like
Yes,
those 3 weeks went so fast, but we
yes, they did.
made it.
We did. We did. It has been. Oh, it can't begin to explain. Let's just jump in by talking about what we've been doing with the Sunshine Education Coalition in terms of our panel discussions that we've had these past 2 weeks, and I thought they were very engaging. We really do not want you all to miss that. So, April, if you want to just discuss at least discuss last week's discussion, and then we'll go back to the week before.
So last week we had an opportunity to have mental health clinician Demetric. That is so sad that Demetric Watkins, there we go, on our panel discussion. And just keep in mind that anytime we have a panel discussion, our ultimate goal is not for the Sunshine Education Coalition to be the majority on the panel. Please note, we ask individuals or we solicit for individuals that demonstrate a level of expertise in those areas, but life happens, life start lifing, or people just don't respond. So we are forever thankful for those individuals that find it not robbery to take the time to come on with us and share their level of expertise. So I mean, we have to have him back on outside of the Sunshine Education Coalition's panel for the Black History Month because the conversation got so good at
Yes.
some points. It was like me and Denise was playing like double dutch, like, let me in. Let us say we want to say something, but we didn't want to appear to take over the conversation because you all know we can do that. So it was very good. We had an opportunity to hear from the position of a licensed mental health clinician, you know, what some of the things that youth are experiencing and some of their whys that they're not capable of always communicating. But the most prolific thing that I will say that stood out to me is that we all shared the same sentiment when it came to the level of responsibility that parents must take on as the
Hmm.
caregiver for children. In the end, it is overall their responsibility to make sure that there's communication around when there are struggles for that child, communication around when there's something very traumatic that has happened to that child, and not to be so in depth with knowing the fine details because at least someone on campus should know the fine details and efforts to provide the necessary support around that trauma. And sometimes, you know, as educators, we're just so ready to go, get,
Hmm.
done, because that's what's required in our curriculum and our pacing guides. But you know, he also reminded us that sometimes, you know, that is the agenda, but you know, take that pause and remember that you have children that have underlying trauma that are entering in the classroom on a daily basis that just necessarily aren't capable of processing any of that because they have whatever's going on. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So that was actually our week two, which was our last Monday, and then the first week we started off with why can't the kids read? And we had our expert panelists on there as well, Bianca Gooseby, who is from Teaching for the Culture, as well as Damaris, and Alan, sorry, and we really talked about not just why they can't read, but looking at the statistics and the numbers across the nation, and then coming right back down here to the state of Florida, where we're able to see that look more than half, and we're going to reiterate this point again, more than half of the students in Hillsborough County are not proficient readers. How does that translate into the future? Where right now everyone, we would say 10 years ago everybody wanted to be an athlete, but now moving it forward, everybody wants to be a YouTube star, TikTok star, Instagram star with millions of followers. So, but what does that relate to in terms of how's the future going to be? Where's our doctors? Where are our politicians, our musicians, where are people we need, especially medical care. All right, the fact that I'm hearing less and less people who think that they're young and invincible, and not realizing that you're going to age at some point in time. You may need some medical help, medical attention. What's going to happen when the no one can pass these bars that they pass to become a doctor? Now you want to move into legal field. Well, what about nobody can be a lawyer now? Nobody has the skills necessary to become a scientist to help find cures for things. Or so this is what we may look at it from just that middle school perspective, but we need to understand that it's the picture is much bigger than that. Okay, and if you don't have some hands-on skills, and you're not a person that can make all your money by your hands, the future looks very grim. So if you've never seen our panel discussions these last past Mondays, you'd really want to go back and check it out. You want to go directly over to our other page, which is the Sunshine Education Coalition page, and you can go back to also to our website, the same name on our website, and look at those. And you can look at the ones that we've had in the previous years as well. So again, I want to reiterate the point that April made, is that we are always looking for guest speakers to join us for our next. And matter of fact, the one that we're going to have tomorrow is called "Where Can We Go?" So now, then this one really should affect a lot of people, because what we learned this past week is that the median, and I don't know, April's good at math, so April should be able to make sure clean up my language. That's what she does, cleans me up when I'm going to make a mistake. But the median, and hope I'm using the word right, home price now in the Tampa Bay area is 320, I believe it said 327K. Now, if that's the median, obviously the house is going to be higher, and obviously going to be lower. But for a kid coming out of college with $50,000 student debt, what home he gonna purchase? What home can she purchase? Where they gonna stay? They gonna stay with their mom and dad for the rest of their life? Because it looks like it. And even if 3 or 4 of y'all decide to rent out the house together, you know how it is. It's unstable when you're in your 20s. You know, you might, okay, all of us might want to live together. Then all of a sudden, I'm gonna move in with a boyfriend, move in with a girlfriend, move over here, move it. It's the housing situation is perilous here in the Tampa Bay area. So this is a topic that we're going to be discussing tomorrow. And also just where's the push out? What is the demographics of our city going to look like in 10 years if these numbers don't change? And again, everywhere that you look, you're seeing houses, apartments, townhouses, entire neighborhoods that did not look like what they used to look like before. So that's feel free to join us. Feel free to jump on in. We will send you the links so that when you do come on, you're able to participate in our conversation.
And let's not even talk about the amount of traffic that our roads are not prepared to withhold. The number of the traffic is enough to make me want to say, okay, let's rent this house out and go somewhere else with less traffic. I despise cluttered streets and with so much traffic. And then the amount of people that are from different regions of the world that they drive so aggressively. Like, yes, we had our aggressive people that drive, but now it's like it's a norm. It's becoming the norm to just constantly get the horn blowing at you. It reminded me when I was in St. Thomas, how everything was toot, but you all's beeps aren't aggressive.
Was friendly. They're
you
friendly.
all just like, get out the way, toot. How you doing, toot? These right here, they are laying on the horns like
they lean on the horn like this.
And then their face is so angry. And I drive like the 80-year-old. I don't even entertain them. I don't make eye contact. I just look like, what are you so damn angry about? And you are in a car, not on the side of the road, broke down. You're not having to take public transportation. Like, you done something right because you're in a vehicle driving. It has gas. It's running. Like, I don't get it. But maybe it's just me and my elderly way of
you're a little you're part of the elderly crew now, so you're gonna put across the road. That's
it's insane to me. It's insane to me, but I digress. I do want us to remind parents that we are currently in the third quarter, which means at this point, well, let me not say that, because what I have come to understand is that everybody tired. They've been tired. They entered the school year tired. So you may have not gotten any notice from guidance counselors or administration to say your child is currently have failed the first semester and at
Mm-hmm.
risk of being retained, or failed the first semester and they're doing ELP during their lunch, failed the first semester. Keyword, failed the first
Failed.
semester, and
Mm-hmm.
they most likely will have to attend summer school. Like, I don't know if that type of conversations have begun to happen, but if they have not, and you have not seen a report card all year,
Say it again. All year.
you have not seen a report card or a progress report all year. Now is the time for you to run to the computer, your child's cell phone, the tablet, whatever it is that you may have that is an electronic device. I think y'all can even do it on your iWatches. Please log into Canva. And if you don't know your login, in most cases, I do believe that every school, they will have to be operating under a rock if they've not embedded this into their overall culture at the school. The child, at least middle school and up, they should be logging in at some point, at least once or twice a week on their Canva. They just should on their Canva page. A lot of times they have to get key material from there. Keep in mind, they can click another button to see the grades. And they know how to get in. I do know that. Their login information is the same login information that they have to get on the computer. In Hillsborough County, in most schools, in this district, we are 1-to-1. What does that mean? We had so much of the what was the name of that money? That ESSA money, ESSA dollars, that we were graced with. Most schools, the majority of the schools, for every class, there is a computer card in that class, primarily in the core classes, your math, reading, language arts, and social studies. Electives may look a little bit different, but I find that to be true for the majority of the schools in Hillsborough County. So I do know that children are touching computers. Now, parents, lean in. Lean
all
in.
the way in. All the way in. All the way in.
Today. Now. Run.
Today. Right. Now.
Go look.
Okay. Okay.
What's going on.
Okay. Okay. Exactly.
Go look.
Okay.
Run.
Okay. Run it out. Run it out.
And then go look to see what's going on.
Correct.
That's what we need to happen now.
Correct.
In that right now.
Right there. Because
what's going to happen, Denise?
Well, because if not, you're going to get to that fourth quarter, the fourth quarter, and we're going to have some people who are angry and devastated and in shock, complete shock, because you just don't understand how your child been failing all this time. And then the other thing too is the communication. You're not going to listen. Let me add this point on. Update your records. I can't stress this enough. Please update your record. We had a parent conference about 2 weeks ago, and that lady cussed and carried on and told all of us that we could all go straight to hell and all this and all that other. But when I pulled out the emergency card information, I went logged on and I pulled up the record. I read all 5 numbers. 4 of them didn't work. 4 of them did not work. I said, this is why we use Canvas. Going back to what the point April made about Canvas, this is why we use Canvas, because Canvas is the district approved way of communication. So therefore, all the numbers that you gave us that don't work, all them little with extra phone, drop phone, whatever phone you got extras, those backup phones, none of them work. But the communication was right there in Canvas all along. The grades was in Canvas all along. Nothing changed because that way of communicating from us to you has always been there. So for you to sit here and get mad about everything, we pulled up 40-something messages that we had sent. None of them have been read. None of them have been read.
Say that, and we can see.
We can see. Please don't make yourself look bad by saying, I stand my child. I know what they do, but when we pull up the information, the data again, once again, I'm gonna run back to that number. Data is going to prove you a liar. We don't want you to be embarrassed like that, because when people come at me with that, I come right back with the data and say, well, these numbers show that we have not logged in since August. It's February.
February.
Oh, the following year.
2024.
2024. So
which is a great segue into graduation is quickly approaching.
Okay, let's
And
talk
we've
about that.
seen information in the media with one ballot person I would like to one person I would like to identify. When our school board members referenced it in one of her posts, board member Lynn Gray, and it was a report, I want to say, done by what's the lady name that does the little short lady that we interacted with years back. She used to always do the coverage about what's going on in schools. The
Oh,
media
Marlene
lady.
Soko.
So yeah, I
Soko.
think she
Okay.
covered it. But this is what
Mm-hmm.
it said on February 13, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Students in Hillsborough County Public Schools soared to new academic heights in 2023, according to the
Mm-hmm.
latest high school rankings from U.S. News and World Report.
Mm-hmm.
Two district schools appear in the top 50 in the state of Florida on the newly released Best High Schools report, while all
Mm-hmm.
high schools appear in the overall state and national rankings. And it goes on to list Plant number 35, Newsom number 49. Several high schools also ranked in the top 200.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Steinbrenner, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So let's look at the schools that are in inner city. That would be high school, Middleton.
Right.
Now, I do want to go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. I was looking for King High School to be on here, inner
Mm-hmm.
city, and Tampa Bay Tech is on there. Tampa Bay Tech been an A for a very long time, but they're ranking number 124. Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding. I mean, is it me?
No.
Because you got Plant 35, Newsom number 49, and Robinson 72, Steinbrenner 53, Strawberry
Mm-hmm.
Crest 102, and then Tech 124. It's like what, and like the data, I don't know. I have to look at it a little bit more in depth, but it ain't adding up. But
Mm-hmm.
then we have Middleton High School at 178. That's our heart, in the heart of
Part
East
of the
End.
in the city. Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how to validate it or if there's any truth to it, but there's a lot of conversation around that there are um, well over 50, 50 to 100 to give it range, because I don't know to be able to validate it, that high school seniors that are not going to graduate based upon their current position or lack of credentials as relates to their credits, testing, blah blah blah, yada yada, and we're in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm. Third quarter.
So I know I have a Middleton, a student that goes to Middleton, and I have been, listen, clawing at the main office and the guidance counselor's office to get support, help, clarity, whatever it need to be. Because keep in mind, my kid came out a long time ago. I came out a long time ago. So things
Mm-hmm.
are not what they used to be. So I'm just like always asking for help, support, questions, blah, blah, blah. The number of subs that's on the campus is beyond, like, I don't even know what to say. But my main question becomes administration. These numbers that were not pulled out of the air and projected, and the projections were not just magically as of third quarter. You knew
Mm-hmm.
this in August.
Yes.
What have we done to plan? And if you done it, I wasn't invited to it or we missed it, because I'm telling you, clawing, trying to get help, support, help me, help. So I say all that to say this. We may be on paper in the top 200, but when you
Mm-hmm.
have that high number of students, seniors that are not going to graduate, make it make sense.
Sense. Correct. Flight in. Swoop it in. Because you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't say out of one side that this this is, oh, we are number one. We're doing the best that we can. But no. How is that even possible? How is that feasible? It's like the same thing as saying, well, we don't have problems at our school with student behavior, but then you have a plethora. You have kids with pages upon pages upon pages of behavior trackers and suspensions and referrals and stuff like it, but you don't have behavior problems. How is that addressed? Because then let's go back to admin. How are you addressing these issues? Because teachers are burning out. Because every week on a Monday and a Friday, you can guarantee people ain't coming to work. Because it's the dread of Sunday night, knowing you have to get up and go. And then when Friday come, hey, listen, especially if it's a payday, I ain't coming here because I don't get paid enough for this.
And I want to reference back to when we were having the conversation with Mr. Watkins, when you made the statement that a lot of times the focus is always on the youth with trauma, the youth with. But we see nationwide with the number of videos that are surfacing that demonstrate the level of trauma that many educators are undergoing in the classroom by the hands of children. And if for any reason, or for some, I would say for any reason, individuals that are outside of the classroom, outside of public education, don't think that that creates an impact to those of us that may not ever be traumatized. Just seeing that is traumatic. Because that lets us know that something is wrong in our culture of being teachers and educators. And then it'd be the gall of the comments below, as if when a teacher responds to prevent a child from hurting them or attacking them, man shouldn't have got, man was gonna beat me, so I just get man first.
Right.
Like, are we subjected to that where we're just supposed to be in there being attacked? Never. Like, you can tell when a kid is when a person, forget the kid part, when a person has developed that level of it ain't strength, that level of anger or rage, that they're getting ready to respond physically. You can see it. You can see it in a person's body language, to where if you think a person just going to stand there, you would be insane to think it.
Right.
I know us two on this screen would never.
And right. Okay. People need to understand that you're not going, and what bothers me the most is that you have parents who just don't believe that their child would ever do something like this, and will then start to be angry toward the teacher, keep on going back and forth with the teacher. But first of all, you ain't go back and forth with me. I'm gonna shut your conversation down. That's just this is what your child did, and hey, this is my response. I'm not gonna allow a human being to talk to me like this. Somebody that's not even 4 feet. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. I'm not gonna allow that child to try to threaten me or intimidate me. So now the parent then gets all upset. I'm like, well, you have to understand something. You're dealing with your child one-on-one. We have to stand in front of a classroom that may have 20 plus people in there, and then you got 1 or 2 that want to show out and think they're going to drag the rest of it. And here's my problem with admin sometimes too, because okay, you might send them to the office, or apparently you wrote up the referral, wrote the behavior tracker, did all what you have to do, and these kids come back with a bag of Takis and a blow pop, maybe an ice pop from the freezer, like ain't nothing happened. Or we spoke to them. I can't tell you how many times you spoke to somebody, and they come back and the behavior is 10 times worse, because they coming in hollering, I ain't got no problem, because they gonna let me do what I want anyway. They all they did was talk to me. I don't know what to tell these administrators, but talking to them don't work.
It goes back to us looking at what we've spoken about in years past, and that it's realistically no more than like about, for each grade level, no more than like about 7 to 10 kids.
Yep.
So we always look at it as the 5% model. That 5%.
5%.
If it's not addressed in the beginning, it then leaks out and become 15. Because that other 10 say, well, they could get away with it, and the responses are very limited on a true behavior, what you call it, consequence. Then why not join it? So by the first quarter, by the end of the first quarter, then you have that 15%. Unfortunately, we know that when we're doing math, it don't just continue to creep up. It goes into those exponential factors.
Yes,
because that one person have an impact on 5, no longer that 1-to-1. So by second quarter, you at 25 to 35%. And at that point, all control has now become, if the children don't know it, they have it. They have all power.
They do.
They have ran through with the
Just like
behaviors
that.
and
Just
picked
like
up a
that.
few along the way to join them. So then you have teachers by December, just listen,
Burnt
by
out. Burnt
December,
out.
they burnt out. They are
Burnt out.
struggling to get to them 2 weeks to be off. And when they're off, they come back replenished, or they figure out a way to not come
To
back
get out.
at
Ever.
all. Now, enter in January. They either have not come back at all. The kids are rejuvenated. They've been without structure for the last 2 weeks. So it's like starting over. So now you done picked up probably another 5%. So right at that point, you're in between that 35 to 40
to 50%. On my school, we have 50%. I ain't even gonna lie. We have 50%. We have 50% right now.
The walkers. Let's talk about the different types of youth that we see. Okay. Now we will say at this point in the quarter, you have kids that are showing up, that do what's expected, and they want to learn. They do it. And each class, you probably gonna have at least 75 to 85% where that's the case. But then you have the walkers. Who are the walkers, Denise?
The walkers are the ones, I mean, from time class start, I need to go here, I need to go there. Can I go here? Can I do that? Because school is not the priority. The priority is to go run them streets, which is in the hallways. So basically, they have to have their task avoiders, but they have to run an errand. They have to go to the bathroom. They need water. I got a headache. I got to go to the nurse. The walkers will find a way to be out. Now, when you're a strong teacher, you're going to tell them, no, you ain't going nowhere. We just started class instruction. We are working from bell to bell. We got a bell work up. Let's go. You know the structure. That's a strong teacher. Now they're gonna be mad for about 15 minutes, but then they're gonna settle down. Okay. But somebody who is not as strong, we'll go ahead and call them weak teachers. A lot of the newer ones who didn't know they could run over. Them kids be in the hallway every period. And let me tell you about a walker. A walker, when I see that walker walking all around the school for the first 4 periods of the day, now you got my 5th period class. I'm like, dude, you already got your 10,000 steps for the day. You got your 10,000. You're not gonna leave my class. You got 10,000 steps. You've been to the bathroom.
And what's so crazy is
he got it.
We
he got it already
on every single campus. Now,
right.
Trust me. If we teachers see it, you know admin see it, and the officer and the custodian and the lunchroom staff, everybody see it.
Of course.
Everybody see it, including the ones that's letting them walk.
Yes.
And we keep telling you to stop letting them walk. We keep telling you to stop letting them out the classroom. And we keep telling you to stop writing the passes. And we keep telling you it don't take all of that. But you make our foundation so weak, the cracks are so wide that we all falling in now.
I got one AP left to tell me that I make it bigger than it is. I make it assume that it's bigger than that. It must be a problem that I'm having. But I've watched you, sir, watch a child slap other kids in the hallway daily. And all we've done is talk to that child. Oh, let me just talk to her for a second. Let me tell you, this heifer has committed assault on half the school. And then there's one boy in particular, she beat the crap out of every day. You mean to tell me that this child ain't never, ever been suspended for any of that? She beats kids regularly.
But
you have watched this child
respond. Then what?
All I'm saying is again, I keep telling people already. I say, you can't equate abuse to affection. Abuse is not affection. Hitting boys and boys hitting girls and back and forth. Okay, you all might think it's cute, but out in the street, that's assault. That's a felony. Okay. So, but the fact of the matter is, you're seeing this happening all the time. I'm frustrated with it. Let me give you a prime example, because I hope I get to who the source I get to, because I love to run my mouth and I don't give a damn what people say at this point in time. Listen, the child walking in, we don't have hoodies and hats in our school. The child walking in the door,
because that's part of the student.
But watch this. So the kid come in with the hoodie on. They clearly got a problem, because I expect discipline and structure in my class, and you don't want to do the work. That's why you always want to be put out. So no, you can't have the hoodie and the hat on. No, you can't have it. We in 12 plus days of school. No, you can't have it. No, you can't put it on. I'm not wearing that. I want to argue. As my boy walking by, I even said directly, look, pop your head in here and take a look at this class, and just let me know if people still wearing a hoodie, even though I've been saying it for the past 112 plus thousand days. Okay. Send the kid out the classroom, right? How about the child walk back in with the hat? Wait a minute. Didn't they go to your office? Didn't they go to your office? Well, so hold on. If they're coming in with a hat, you should be the one confiscating the hat. Why did y'all walk back in the class with a hat? With the hat. I said, I don't know. And I'm not saying I get paid to think for you, but I'm thinking if you get paid a little bit more than me, common sense would tell you, let me confiscate this, the very same thing that is causing a problem with the student in the class. Let me just go ahead and confiscate rubber bands. They're flinging rubber bands back and forth. Why are you getting mad at me? Because I'm telling you what the problem is.
And let's do this, because you know the question always become from those that are not teachers. It's always the conversations that come from those that are not. Like it frustrates me to my core that everybody tells us how to do our job, but I digress.
Correct.
So what's the big deal about the hats? Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
The hat just don't sit on their heads the entire time while they're in the room. It becomes a pass it around the room so everybody can try it on. It becomes, give me my hat. You ain't got da. It becomes, don't touch me. It becomes, I can't see they got the hat on. So if you have not noticed, it becomes a distraction.
You forgot the most important one.
Distraction.
You forgot the most important one. You forgot the most important. I'm gonna put the hat on because my earpod is in, so I can listen to my phone and not pay attention in class. Yes. That's the whole point of the hat and the hoodie.
Yes.
Because it's just a hoodie. It's just a hoodie until you take the hoodie off. They got both AirPods in and they listen to their phone. So when they're gonna learn something? Because they haven't been paying attention for 30 minutes because their AirPod is in their ear. Because they refuse to take their hoodie off. Do you see how the problem just escalates and gets bigger and bigger and bigger? But people just think, oh, you complain about a hoodie.
And let's refer to the word distraction.
Go ahead.
That prevents someone from giving full attention to something else.
I have children who constantly disturb the class daily. And I want to ask you this question. Let me put this question out there, and you can pass it to Lindgren and all the people up in the school board, because I'm curious. And I need my area superintendent to respond to this as well. If a parent has told you don't want that they know there are disturbance to this teacher's class, and they have requested for the child to be removed from the class, and that child doesn't get removed, that child just gets placed from one period to the next period. All right. And the class is not a core content class. Let me make sure you understand it again. It's not a core content class. So they don't need the class. But the parent actually requested in a parent meeting to please remove the child from the class, put them in another elective someplace. So why the child still sitting in the class?
That's interesting.
I would love an answer to that question.
Things that we need. Look,
I would love it.
Parent voice, parent
input,
parent. Yes, because
I would love to know.
Follow through. That's real interesting.
It is interesting, and the parent themselves requested that. Hey, let's talk about the other type of kids. So we got the walkers. What's the other type?
About the other one, the hoodie and the
hoodie. Yeah. Oh no, but you missed one. The one that's more I'm so helpful that I can't do any of my work. That's the one. That my cat. I'm so helpful. I'm gonna sharpen every pencil. I'm gonna wipe the board. I'm gonna clean up the desk. I'll pass out the books. I'm gonna set up the laptop. You done did everything in the class. That's class task, but you haven't started your assignment yet.
Not one assignment. And you know what's so strange? Let me tell you what I often get viewed as the worst teacher in Hillsborough County for.
What?
Because I require my students before they enter the room to take out their materials, so that when they enter, they put their book bags down in a designated space to avoid book bag distraction. And I ask them to sit down and immediately start their work. We work from bell to bell. And I do not allow them to sleep. I do not allow them to engage in conversation outside of math. And I do not allow them to go to the restroom right after lunch, because they have the opportunity to go before lunch. They have the opportunity to go during lunch. And I do not allow them first period because they have the opportunity to go right, So the only periods you can get it in is second, sixth, seventh, and eighth normally gets to go more than others because I know they got that bus ride. So, but the biggest issue most have with me is I don't let them do nothing else besides math. They don't say that, but that's what it means, because I won't let them do everything else. They can't have sidebar conversations. They must focus and have conversation only about the math. You can talk about math till you blue, but if you talk about anything else, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear
Well,
it. I don't want to hear it.
You must be like me. You must be like me because when you start bubbling, talking about she said, he said, she said, I said, I have nothing to do with my word.
No,
nothing.
Focus.
Nothing. And now you want to run and tell her, well, she told me to shut up. No, I didn't tell you to shut up. I said, I don't want to hear.
I'm going to put it on record right now. Yes. But I did start with be quiet. I did read that redirect and said, could you go back to the assignment? Like after about 10 times, there might be a few shut ups. Shut up.
But I've done everything that I could. All that I could.
Yes. But that was after I redirected at least back between the 10 to 15. Now keep it 5. No, I do the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But once I hit that 10 to 15, it's all here we are.
Yeah.
That's because
you're disturbance to the
probably
class.
20 minutes into the class, and you have still yet to pick up the pencil and start.
It's called being disruptive to the learning environment. So, and that's all I'm trying to say.
Let's do the work. Parents, they got to do the work. Parents, they got to do the work. We're beyond COVID. We're beyond it. There's no more just passing them along. That's not happening. It's not happening. Change my grades if you want to add me in. Change them if you want.
Right.
Because that's not happening. We got to get them back in the phase of you're not just going to be promoted because you showed up. We can't. We are doing a disservice to our children. We are damaging our children because the majority of the children that this conversation is in alignment with is going to be African-American children.
Yep.
That's it. So, yes, African-American woman, I'm going to hold them accountable.
Yes. Thank you. And you know, I'm so glad you said that because I think that a lot of time
it ain't personal.
Parents will think, well, you got something against my son. I got nothing against your child, but your child look like me. And I expect greatness from your child. I'm going to demand that level of greatness. I'm going to demand that they work hard. I'm going to do because that was put upon me. And I would say I'm truly say that I have been successful because the pressures were put on me to make me be better. And I want to see your child be great. Why can't, if I want that for you, why shouldn't you want that for your child too? And that's the thing. And so when I come to school sometimes with some of the kids, I'm just like, why is it that I'm the one that is so focused on you being better, but you don't care about your grade, you don't care about nothing. And you're just angry. You're angry because I won't let you go to the bathroom. I won't let you walk around the school. I won't let you play your get on your phone. I won't let you. Now you want to tell your mom she took my phone. I ain't take your phone. Your phone was held for a moment so that you can focus on your work. You got your phone right back.
Talk about the difference between take and temporary.
Oh my God. Ooh, now, go ahead, talk about it.
Listen, last week or the week before last, I went so absolutely berserk because there was a numerous amount of disagreements on campus that resulted in children making very poor decisions by placing their hands upon one another. Numerous. And being that my classroom is the furthest away from any point on the campus, I would not know that unless a child brought in a handheld device and proceeded to share it.
Right.
So, in order to prevent the conversations via virtual or electronic devices, it was once stated and reminded 6th grade body again. Your book phones are to be in your book bags.
Your bags.
Your phones are to be in your backpacks. Your phones are to be in your purse. Parents, that does not mean their pockets, their hoodies, their bras, their shorts on the inside of their pants. It means not on their person. The ladies with the purses, I get it. Because some of them don't carry backpacks. I get it. They have their folders. Not a problem. Long as it stays in a disclosed manner. When that policy is then violated, because that's our school policy, That means your child's phone is temporarily taken out of their possession, placed in a locked cabinet until the end of the school day. Why do we do that? So that more learning can happen versus less chaos being introduced into their minds while they're trying to learn.
Right.
Black woman gonna hold all children accountable with a special extra spoon for children that looks like me.
And I think that you want to talk about that that whole that great conversation we had with Mr. Watkins, right? About how some kids will experience trauma or they get upset because the teacher may remind them of somebody that they know, remind them of this person, remind them of that person. Okay, I get that too. However, let me be the positive influence to say, I might remind you of a person that you may not like, but I want what's best for you. So let me rewire that brain a little bit so that you can understand I want what's best for you. It's so incredibly, I wouldn't even say annoying. It's just so incredibly shocking to me how you can keep on being angry about somebody that wants the best for you. I want you to be successful. That's all I want. And by removing this phone from you for just for a moment, so that you can focus, is the best thing for you. I told one entire class I said, do you realize nobody has gone past level 1? They changed the data to help you all. And on the second go around, nobody still was above a level 1. So why that's my evidence alone to let me know that nobody need a phone in here. No one. I didn't even reset the policy back out again to the parents. I said, let me just highlight this line right here and show you why all your children still are level 1. And so therefore, that's why this phone situation, they can't have it. They cannot have it.
And for those that were not on our Sunshine Education Coalition, we want to quickly highlight what is it that Denise is referring to. So you all know we went to the FSA, to the best standards with the is that the name of the test? I just know we test.
Oh, we have the new best. Well, the state, the standard, it's called a PM1 and PM2 progress monitoring 1.
Yeah, but
and
they
2.
call
It's
it
the best standards.
The best, yes. FSA and best. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So long story short, when the initial baseline was being given, was it the year before last? Now I'm so confused. Was it the year before last or last year?
The year before. Your initial one was last year, 2020. No, the year before.
Year before last, right?
Yep,
so when they gave out that initial baseline, they were waiting for last year's data, the 2022-2023 school year, and efforts to create that that scale for what the levels would be associated for each child as it relates to their ranking for performance. So what we do want to point out is, for in most cases, the scale dropped at least between 90 to 100 points. Now I want y'all to process that. So a child that was a level 1, do you know it basically off the top of your head, Denise? Just give us a range. A child that was a level 1 used to be what?
In the 200 plus range. Now level 1 is dropped down to like 190 something. Okay, but this is only grade 8. Okay.
Well, it also affected for 7th and 6th. It looks a little different. We're just trying to give them perspective. So with that being said, I don't know what else to call it besides it appears as though they're lowering the standards for our youth. And I don't know if the lowering the standards was a necessity, because across the board, it appears that education
is dropping.
Yes. No other way to put
it. That's all. It's just dropping.
So in the end, that's setting us back further than where we need to be. And in the event that is happening, please note that minority.
I got the numbers for you.
Okay.
I got the numbers for you.
Okay.
Hold on, kid. You know me. I got to have it nearby. Because when people start arguing with me, I got to come back with some numbers. Okay. So now I remember it was higher before. Level 1s were a little bit higher. Now you're looking at a level 1.
So tell us what. Do you know what it used to be?
Ooh, my old.
It's fine. Just tell us now.
Let me just tell you what a level 1 said.
95 to 100 point difference.
Right. A level one is from 169 to 202 for grade H, right? And let's just do it like this. Level three used to be a 367. And let me tell you what a level three is right now. Level three is now a 238.
Listen, listen, listen. Lean in and listen to what she just said. Say it again.
Level right, right. Level three was up there in the 327 range, and now a level three is a 238. 238. So yeah. In fact, because it was exactly, hold on, it was exactly a 90-point drop for the level three. A 90 point. So you dropping it down 90 points to help the people children, and the people children still can't make it out that level one bucket. And that's some scary stuff. Look at 238. You see, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really scary, to be honest.
Yeah, it was 90 points. It was yep, that's what it was. So you could and now running back to the beginning of our conversation where everyone was saying, oh, Hillsborough County and this county, we got the highest graduation rates. For what, graduation is one thing, but to be successful in your academics and successfully pass these tests, a rigorous test with rigorous information on it, and to be able to say, I'm going to function as a successful adult in society, that's all I gotta say. I mean, you might be, McDonald's qualified because sure Chick-fil-A,
And
it was a
McDonald's
pleasure
ain't
to
have
serve
reading,
you. It's
to be
different.
honest. Like reading is a necessity. Even
Necessity.
with all of the gadgets, that's reading is a necessity.
Making change, math.
Reading is a necessity. And parents, we're gonna always say this: check your cell phones.
No, Lord. Oh, yeah. Check your backpack and the cell phone.
Oh, no,
Not just up, but the backpack too. Because that backpack has some things in there. And we're not just talking about things that need to be washed and Febreze, but we there's things in there. I mean, just know that smells do carry. If your child may not be partaking in any kind of herbal refreshments, just understand that it do smell. That smell does permeate from the household to the child's backpack and their clothes.
As kids come to school, you be like, oh my
and don't
God.
smoke in the car.
You have to be as high as whoever was smoking around.
Don't smoke in the car.
I'm catching a contact with you walking by
me too.
I'm like, oh God.
I mean,
that's also trauma, parents. We want to point that out. Those are traumatic experiences that you are creating for your children.
Ain't nothing crazier than a sixth grader with the munchies coming to school talking about he eating up everybody's stuff and their Capri Suns and their juice and their Takis. Ain't that everybody's stuff? Fighting people to eat.
Let's keep in mind that spring break is quickly approaching.
Oh, yes.
Spring break is going to be March.
Is it the 5th?
11th through the 15th?
11th through the 15th, correct.
11th through the 15th. So parents prepare now because you actually have 1, 2,
I think a month.
3 weeks. 3 weeks before we hand them off to you for a week. And we definitely want to make sure that there are programs that are happening out there. I know parks and recs normally do something, and have them engaged in something safe, because idle minds for our youth, unfortunately, in the inner city, it doesn't always lead to something good. So please, ma'am, and please, sirs, prepare for that week off. We know that it is coming up very soon in 3 weeks, so you got time to prepare.
Yes.
Definitely. And did we want to talk about the scenario that was on Pastor Hawkins' page?
Oh, yes. Okay. So
let me go over to it. Go ahead.
I truly believe that speaking of discipline, right? On discipline, it needs to be calibrated correctly, because you're seeing scenarios in certain schools where, and I know it's a cultural thing, well, not, no, one of my assumptions is that it's a cultural thing, and not knowing the cultural differences between people or how you handle things, or also a teacher's tolerance level, right? Because how is it that a child could be chewing gum and get 4 full days of detention? But kids in my certain kids in my school will have cussed an adult out from top to bottom and got 1 day ISS.
So let's give
So
it more context, Denise. So on one of our mutual friends
friends.
and also a local pastor here in the Tampa Bay area, he
Mm-hmm.
posted on his page, fair punish. The question is fair punishment or not? And it
Mm-hmm.
said it indicated that 4 days detention for a second offense of chewing gum in class.
Mm-hmm.
Again, fair punishment or not? 4 days of detention for the second offense of
Of
chewing
chewing.
gum in class.
Correct.
And
Mm-hmm.
we know that there's not a lot of context to go with it, but if it's just a basic, you're chewing the gum. One thing about it, I pick my battles. So
Me too. Me too.
the chewing gum, I get if it's a rule, it's a rule, it's a rule. It's one of those things that the teacher just hate, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But that's one of those things that we're going to miss a lot of instruction. If it depends on how their detention is done. Like there's so many unknowns that we don't know. Like, does detention happen before or after school at your school site? Does it happen during lunch? Is it going to happen when the child is being taken out of the classroom? They're going to miss instruction. So there's so many things that could go along with that. However, I know that for me, I gave a long, there were several comments on the page. One identification said, I need to know who is the culprit first, LOL. Some said,
Right.
insane, what in the world? And it says, some said that's a bit of a reach for some gum. One person indicated situational. Somebody said unfair. And then one gave a long response, says, I still don't understand why chewing gum is a big deal. If we're preparing kids for real world, then no one is telling me I can't chew gum at work. I always hate that rule because I'm a gum chewer. It calms my nerves. So that person identified the why and
Yes.
why they chew the gum and so on and so forth. But then I will come back to that person and say, we don't know what gum chewing look like for the children in the room. Are they sticking it everywhere? Is it going on the floor? Is that child popping bubbles in the classroom? Like there's so many unknown possibilities to where I can't even give a true distinct response. I had to give several. One administrator said that I would have assigned 1 day of detention. And one person said, is gum not allowed in school? That's so 1963. And I would pin that to say, is showing up to school unprepared is still a thing. That's so 1960.
Correct. Correct. I don't have a pencil, but I got Jordans on. I don't have tell them I don't have. I take flight. I just don't have anything I need for class. I've watched a kid who, by the way, has perfect attendance, hasn't missed a single day of school, has taken a pencil out of my pencil cup for the past 112 plus days. So I mean, when you owe me 112 pencils, so it's like, okay, but that also should be something that you're prepared for. Where's your paper? Where's your materials? Where's your backpack? I mean, you come into school, you come in with nothing. So, and again, to reiterate that point, you don't know what it looks like for some people. Some people do those things because it's annoying and they want the attention of the classroom. Okay. It's sort of like, okay, everybody can open up their novel quietly, just open it up. When it's time to close the novel, right? Why you got one kid, bam, 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 gotta slam the novel shut, slam, and then wants to help you by picking up everybody's books, but you're not picking up the books, you picking it, flinging it around the room, throwing it, hitting kids with it. So yeah, I mean, it's all about the context. Yes, when the parent will complain, my child was trying to be helpful, and you just, but your child was throwing books that they didn't pay for at other kids. Yes, that's why I took them off that duty. That's why they're not allowed to do that anymore, because you don't understand what they were doing. Yes, all they gave you was he was trying to be helpful, but you don't understand what his help looked like in the class. His help looked really crazy in the classroom. So again, think outside, or rather, how about you have a conversation with the adult in the room? And too many times you have all the kids' version of it, but you have no context of what really happened. The child told you just enough to make themselves look good. Because let me tell you something, on any given day, I'm the hero, the villain, the culprit, I'm the evil one, I'm every part of the storybook character in that story, and depending on the day and the mood of the child. And some days you could just be you everything. You the worst thing that existed, depending on how the child tell that story. But you need to get the whole context, not the part that you think that makes puts your child in the best light. And always keep remembering that child is in a room with other children. That one of their primary objectives is to impress their peers. I don't care what you're doing. My peers gonna think I'm the class clown. That's that. That's all we gotta say about that. Anything else you want to add, April?
All I would know is that when we were younger, it was simply what the adults said. It was simple what the adults said, what the rules were, and what the adults said. And in the event that you were not capable of following what the adults said, there was consequences. And sometimes those consequences can be a little bit, too much. But in the event that that is a policy, at the school, and the student knows what that consequence is going to be, then it's a possibility that it could been okay. But classroom management 101, you got to kind of control your room if any event at all possible, unless a child is being overly disruptive and needs to be taken out of the learning environment to support the majority. That's the only time I lose my power, when I cannot create the space to be invited enough to where they want to be in the classroom and learn, to where they prevent other children from learning or prevent me from teaching. Then you gotta go. So I say all that to say this: parents, we know that you don't wake up every day and say, I want to make sure my child's going to be the worst student. They're going to perform the poorest, and I don't want them to ever succeed in life. We know you don't send your children in that manner. So please hold us to that same respect, that we don't get up every day and say, I want to fail every child. I want them to come in and do their poorest, and I don't want to teach them. In most
Nobody
cases,
says that.
we don't do that. We don't do that.
Then we start off with a brand new day every single day.
Well, some teachers
every day is a brand new day.
Not all. I know that for a fact. Some are not able to do that brand new day concept. That take a special type of us to do that. And God gives grace to us every day, so we got to give it back. And these are children; they're supposed to make mistakes, but they're not supposed to continuously make the same mistake.
Same mistake every single day.
Every single day, every single hour,
because they want to be annoying to the class.
Exactly. When we are continuously redirecting them. So do your parts by helping us do our parts, and then the kids will do their parts. Right?
And that applies to admin.
Yes. Yes, all of us. If they do their parts, then we will do our parts, and then the kids.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Did you freeze on me?
It was us then.
I guess it was us.
Was never part.
All right. I guess that's good night for us then.
Yes, it is. All right, guys. We will see you all in a couple of weeks, and we greatly appreciate for those that jumped on with us. And don't forget, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock sharp, join us on the Sunshine Education Coalition page, where we move forward in our third week topic, where we have who are our two guest speakers tomorrow.
And that I have to go back to my part.
Robin Lockett and I want to say Pastor Buster. I want to say those are our two.
I do want to say, so I had to mix up week 4. Okay, all right.
So we look forward to seeing you all. And if not, you can always catch the replay on our website at sunshineeducationcoalition.org. We will see you all in a couple of weeks.
Fingers.